Hello, Joe here. It's Saturday the 2nd of June and here I am bringing you another chilli plant update. So, since the last video these plants have come out of the greenhouse. As you can see by the weather outside, it's hot enough without them being in the greenhouse, and the weather will be good enough for some of them to go outside within the month, I think. Although I think I'll keep most of them inside as they've been growing really well. So we'll start on the right hand side. This is the only plant which has reacted badly to being topped. It's Hungarian hot wax, and although it's healthy, it's green, and it's got lots of new growth, it's not really growing sort of height wise. It's just getting sort of bushy. It's very odd. It's an unusual sort of plant. I don't really know what's up with it. So if you've got any ideas, perhaps you could put it in the comments below or message me. I would be very grateful if you could. These two plants here are Demon Red plants. They're an ornamental variety, and I can't stop them growing. They are prolific growers, very bushy. They're completely different to any of my other plants. They are starting to flower quite prolifically as well, and they're very nice to look at. Really beautiful plants, and I'm sure I'll get a big yield out of these. And the last plant, which is still in the small 5-inch pot, is this plant here, which is a jalapeno plant. This has been topped. You can sort of see where the new leaves are much smaller than the ones which were remained when I topped it. It's starting to get some nice flower buds on, and I'm happy with the growth with that one, although it's much less bushy than I hoped. I'll probably get that in a bigger pot and hopefully it will take off. This one here is a topped jalapeno plant. I've just put this in the 8-inch pot today, and the rest of them are in 8-inch pots, which is probably going to be my final pot size, I think. I don't want to mess with them too much once they start setting flower buds and once they start setting pods. So we'll try and get you in closer. You can probably see in the middle of the screen under that leaf there's a very, very small pod. This plant is unusual because again it hasn't got the height since it's been topped, but it's very bushy and lots of foliage. I'm happy with it. It's fine. It's just not got the height. If you compare that to this plant, which is an untopped jalapeno, it's probably half the size. This one's got the traditional Y shape of a chili plant. This is starting to get some nice buds on as well. It's a nice plant. It's just very, very different to the one on the right. So I'll leave it to you as to which one you think you would like in your greenhouse. And maybe the yield of the one on the left will catch up with the one on the right, perhaps later on in the season. But we'll see. You'll have to keep watching my videos for more chili plant updates, of course. But like I say, we'll see. These three here in a straight line, these are all Scotch bonnet plants. I've just put this in the 8-inch pot today, so it's looking very nice. This one was the small one. You may have seen in my other videos it's caught up with these other ones. In fact, I think the growth of this small one here is actually better than the ones here. This one, the leaves are a bit greener than the video you saw last time. The leaves are huge still. They're probably, they're as big as my hand. If we get it turned around so you can sort of see how much foliage it really is rather than it facing the sun. Very, very nice. Full of foliage. These Scotch bonnets are longer in the sort of vegetation period, so they've not really flowered at all. But if I bring you over to this one, you'll start to see it's just at the top starting to get a few flower buds, the very beginnings of them anyway. The leaves on this one go a bit sort of soft in the sun. I don't know whether the sun's sort of too harsh for it today. It is a very hot day out there, from what we're used to in the UK anyway. maybe it'll harden off. It's not affecting the plant at all, and the moisture content of the soil, I'm just feeling it now, it feels fine, it doesn't need watering at all. It's not too wet, it's not too dry, so I know the watering's okay. It's probably just the temperature. I'll just sort of bring you in. There's nothing on that stem, straight up. Very unusual sort of plant, Scotch bonnet, they just seem to be going straight up and not bushing out at all. Sorry, that was my phone telling me I'm low on battery. This one is an untopped jalapeno. This one, although it's untopped, the leaves have come out much smaller. It's a very unusual plant. It's been growing really oddly. It's healthy, it's just been growing oddly. It doesn't like the full sun of the window. It does what I've just described, the Scotch bonnet does at the back, which is the leaves get a bit sort of soft. These aren't too bad, but that one's quite soft. Again, you check the moisture content, feels damp, not too wet, and it's getting enough feed, so perhaps it's the sun. Maybe it'll harden off later in the season, we'll see. This one is hot wax, it's huge. Clearly this is an untopped plant. It's turn it round, you can sort of see the foliage coming out on the top. Its growth is great. Can't complain at all. You'll probably see they're very tiny chili pod. Then there's, like here, there's flower buds, very nice. Really thick stem. Sort of compare that to my finger, sort of as nearly as thick as my finger. Really nice, really sturdy. You can't put in quite a lot of pressure there, and I can't bend the stem at all. Very nice, really nice to look at. Really tall, probably about 40 to 50 centimetres now, in 8-inch pots. Really nice. I'll be really happy once these starting to pod up. And I'll definitely keep you updated with these. This one is it's untopped, as you can tell by the height, but it's bushed out a lot more on the top. Traditional Y shape, you can see there. It's Y, and then on the top of each Y there's another Y. Very sort of traditional in the way this is growing. Some nice flowers, beautiful looking flowers. Those will turn into pods because I've been hand pollinating all of these plants because they are obviously indoor plants. So yeah, there we go. They're all healthy. I think the only other thing that I should probably tell you is that these are, all of them have started to get a feed with Tomerite. I'm using half the dosage you would with tomato plants, and to keep a track, I've been keeping a little log here. Let's just flick through for some random. So I've code named all the plants. I've given them all a number. So there's hot wax 3, and then I've been putting the date. I've been watering them. If it's watered, it's a W, and if it's fertilised, it's an F. And that's just allowing me to keep track, because there's no way that I'd be able to remember what I had watered, what I hadn't watered, and what I fertilised and what I hadn't fertilised. There's just too many plants here to keep a mental record, and I don't water every day like some people. Just water and water and water, and that's how overwatering is caused. I water when the plants need the water, and then get it written down so I don't forget. So yeah, I'm really happy with the growth. No real problems with pests or disease yet, of course, and no problems with like bugs like aphids or whitefly. So I'm really happy. If you've got any comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. You can private message me, and please keep watching for more chili plant updates. Thank you.